These tree stumps is what is all that is left of what was once a lush forest in this place. The reason is this: cultivation and encroachment of the forest for farming. With the rain season on hand, cultivation is at its most intense. The encroachment is due to population pressure in Mbale that has forced the residents to cut down the forest. Although under the management of the National Forest Authority, this has not stopped the forest from being eaten away and replaced by gardens. The encroachers blame it on the lack of land on which to settle. But they have been attracted to cut down the Namatala Forest Reserve because of its seemingly fertile virgin soils. Produce from here provides both food, and the extra is sold off for income.
We have nowhere to dig. We depend on this very land, and since we feel like it's part and a puzzle to us, it's always better for us to be digging here.
However, the problem has not been helped by people who are given licenses to regenerate the forest by growing commercial trees like eucalyptus. The National Forest Authority blames them for concentrating on growing crops at the expense of trees. Originally, they were meant to grow trees for sale interspaced with legumes like beans, but have since done away with tree growing altogether, which takes years to bring returns.
We are going to cancel out their licenses and we give this land people who can use it properly. Because some of these farmers actually have been reluctant to plant trees. They thought probably the land they had gotten is for beans and maize, so we must tell them that no. Actually, we have told them and we are going to put it in action.
Attempts by the NFA to enforce the licenses of the contract tree farmers have often led to clashes, and the communities have sometimes burned down the forest in revenge.
As a result, we stopped these people from cultivating. They got aggrieved. So they felt the way to pay back is to burn this forest. So that's why we experienced mainly the fires between the month of January up to late March, actually even early April, because even the first weeks of April it was still raining in Mbale here.
Burning of the forest has consequences, the main one being the destruction of the trees. But it also destroys natural vegetation in the forest, affecting other forest species, leading to more environment degradation in the area. Ideally, crops should not be planted in a forest reserve according to the National Forest and Tree Planting Act Section 32, which stipulates that no one is allowed to carry out any activity apart from forestry in a forest reserve. But this has been defied. Matters are compounded further by the contractors cutting down what remains of the natural forest for firewood instead of their commercially planted trees.
We have, of course, they have been trying to, they want to avoid the costs of maintaining these trees. But however much they want to run away from the costs of maintenance, we told them it's very illegal and we are going to take action, because we have clearly stated our standard.
The dilemma here is the need to regenerate the once blossoming Namatala forest and the pressure for land to cultivate. To the encroachers, Namatala forest is sitting on land that could be put to better use.
We've been appealing to NFA to allow the people of this area, since this forest is bordering most of this area, this town area, that they allow people to dig here, because in places where we are putting up, we are just staying in plots. So at the end of the day, we lack where to dig from.
For this peri-urban forest, the other anthropogenic factors that it faces are logging, urban sprawl, human-caused forest fires, acid rain, invasive species, and the slash and burn practices of shifting cultivation that have all come into play. Due to this, the NFA is now contemplating stepping in directly to restore the environment in this area.
So the issue right now is we have already the seedlings on ground. We wanted to begin the planting, but then the rains have not been adequate. So the ground in most areas is still hard. We're waiting. If we could get enough rains, we'll continue. We are going to plant on all those areas where they have cultivated as NFA.
It also has to deal with the dumping of rubbish into the forest.
The urban forest, this one is expected. It's not only in here, but even in Fort Portal, it used to happen. So actually, even the dumping of garbage, these people do it at night. They at wee hours when we are not able to patrol.
However, the first step will involve recovering the encroached land, but this may not be easy. The other is to institute a complete ban on giving out licenses in the forests if the forests, which were once dense decades ago, are to regenerate.